Hello everybody, it's Elisa here. So today, this video, I want to talk about my 4 years of full recovery because this month, October 1st, was actually the celebration of my 4 years of being fully recovered. And yeah, of course, it's not like a specific date I recovered, but just like 2014, October 1st, I was thinking like, oh my God, I have been in recovery exactly 1 year and I didn't have any of the eating disorder symptoms anymore, and I just felt like normal. Yeah, of course, I didn't know like, oh, is this really full recovery? It sounds too good to be true. Like, is it really over? Yeah, so I was like, okay, let's wait and see. But even like half a year later, I was like, yep, I am fully recovered. Like, oh my God, like my eating is totally back to normal. And yeah, so in this video I just thought like maybe I will talk about few subjects, maybe what has been changing, what has been changed in 4 years, how is it like to be in full recovery like 4 years later. And yeah, so firstly I want to just say that like until this day, like if I think about it, like I'm so grateful. Like I'm so grateful that I chose the recovery. I chose to overcome my fears. Oh, I'm just getting like emotional. Yeah, I chose to really do it. I was like 100% committed. Like I'm so proud of myself. And it's so weird because very often I talk about this with other people, you know, my clients, people I help, and for example, like what it's like to be grateful to be able to eat like a normal meal and just finish the food and be done with it and not think about and obsess about it like between meals. Because I came from bulimia and orthorexia and all the binge eating and purging and everything and feeling out of control with foods, and I never thought like eating a normal meal is possible. I thought like people who are able to eat normally are different. Maybe they have some self-control or something. But yeah, like when you recover your normal hunger cues and overcome the eating disorder, like you are able to eat the normal meal and just be done with it and not obsess about it. Yeah. and I'm so grateful, you know, I can eat normal meals. And I would say like this is the one biggest benefit, and something I hear people, you know, wish. I ask them like, if you could wish, you know, something or what your full recovery would look like, they would say like, I want to stop obsessing about food and thinking about food all day. And to me, this is how it felt like in eating disorder. I truly felt like I'm thinking about food all day. I have cravings all day. I have like food obsession all day. Like it's never ending, to the point again like I didn't even understand like this is abnormal. And now, you know, being fully recovered, like this is the biggest benefit, like not having to think about food all day or not obsessing about food. And yeah, I think about food when I get hungry, like this is completely normal. Or sometimes I plan, you know, what I'm gonna have for dinner. But this is, yeah, as I said, normal. But there is no obsession, there is no guilt, there is no shame, there is no obsession. Yeah, and I have so much free mental space. This is how I would describe it. So much free mental space to think about other stuff in my life, to the point like food is just not even interesting anymore. And many of you know maybe that before, you know, when I had this orthorexia, I was so obsessed about raw foods, and I'm thinking, oh, like recipes and cooking is my passion. But actually, yeah, now I discovered that it wasn't my passion. I was simply very, very deprived. And if you're very, very deprived, you will think about food all day and search recipes and all this kind of stuff. Because now, yeah, I enjoy food and I can sometimes cook and enjoy it as well, but I have now so much more other like interesting things to do, and food is definitely not one of my passions anymore. It's just normal. Yeah. And maybe one other question I have got many times, especially from my clients, because they're just interested to know because you know, I am an eating disorder recovery coach, and I help people one-on-one, and I make these videos, and I share, you know, I still, like, after 4 years, I share about my recovery and what I have learned, and I wrote my book and everything. And because I think many people who have fully recovered, they have kind of, like, understandably, like, moved away from the recovery community altogether. And I think this is totally healthy. Like, this is totally like do it, yeah. But people don't know that in 2009 or something, and I have mentioned this in one of my videos, like, I was thinking about, like, what kind of job I really want to have. And I didn't even know back then that coaching was a thing. I didn't know about coaching, like life coaching and stuff like that. And I was just thinking, like, I would wish, like, one day I can help people, you know, through online doing something, because it gives me the freedom, the flexibility. I want to be my own boss, and I want to inspire people and help them with something. So yeah, this was one of my wishes. And then I went through, like, all the, like, eating disorder and like, fully recovering from it. And obviously I did a lot of research, and because I helped myself to full recovery, like, I recovered on my own. Of course, I was inspired and helped through the content I learned from, like, online, and many other, like, awesome people I personally followed. But yeah, I put, like, so much energy to help myself and to learn about this subject. So when I was like, fully recovered, obviously I wanted to spread this message, and I wanted to put this information out there, because I had, like, so much knowledge about it, and I was like, I can't just keep it in. And that's why I wrote my book. My book is basically everything I learned going through recovery, and all the biggest things that helped me to reach the full recovery. So anyway, my point is that I already wanted to, like, have this kind of job that I have right now. And my experience with the eating disorder is just my, you know, something I happen to have. But this is kind of ideal situation for me, because I wanted to be a coach. You know, like, this is my dream job now, and I can use my experience to inspire people and help people. Like, this is one thing. But also people often ask me, like, aren't you triggered, you know, talking about this subject all the time, and still surrounding yourself with this you know, people with eating disorders and stuff. And I totally get what you mean, and yes, sometimes it can be exhausting, because not because it's, like, triggering, but mainly because it's just like you give so much energy, and yeah. But I guess, like, with every job it's like that, right? It's not only like this job. But I'm not triggered. Actually, teaching about full recovery and teaching about what I have learned on and on and on, like, repeating it to yourself even, it has only recovered me more. Because the more you repeat the message of what helped you recover, you almost convince yourself even more, positively, like, brainwash yourself even more. And it's not triggering for me, because I really see, like, now past the eating disorder voice. And I believe, like, something is not triggering if you don't believe it. And I don't believe the triggering, like, the eating disorder messages or diet messages. And that's why it's not triggering me. Yes, and it has actually made my recovery stronger. Yes, and maybe one other thing I wanted to talk about, and something I have been thinking about for a while, and it's kind of like touchy subject for me, because maybe some of you know that in the past I was, like, eating mostly vegan, and I was even sometime, like, I was trying to be 100% vegan, because I truly believe the message about the ethical side of being vegan. But over the, like, last 4 years, I have become more as a vegetarian. Like, I still don't eat meat. I really don't like it, the texture, the taste, plus the ethical side. But I have really, like, let loose on the, like, the vegan thing. And now, like, if you want to put a label on me, like, I don't even want to have those labels. But yeah, basically I'm a vegetarian. And this is because right now, like, The number one thing is to put myself first and my full recovery first. And I think the veganism as a, you know, an idea is totally great. Like, I support the idea of veganism. But if you put the veganism into a context, for example, a context of somebody who has had an eating disorder, specifically like the orthorexia, and now they're like fully recovering, and they are kind of like, I don't want to ever worry about food, I don't want to think about food, I don't want to worry about the ingredients, I don't want to go around and ask everybody, you know, the waiter, like, what is in my food, like, make sure this is not in my food, and obsessing about it. And I really want to just, you know, pick and choose what I like, and just, you know, like, not put so much like mental energy to my food choices. And we live in a world where, you know, a lot of stuff is not, you know, fully vegan. Like, you can have vegan options, but it's, again, it's very limiting. It can become obsessive. And I truly believe, like, you don't have to be 100% of anything in order to contribute to the cause, like the good cause. So I'm vegetarian. If this is not good enough for somebody, then yeah, I can't do anything about it. Yeah, like, I don't want to stop in this subject for too long, but I just want to like put it in because I know this has been my personal transition in the past 4 years. And my, yeah, like, my top priority is my, you know, mental freedom and my full recovery from an eating disorder, and just being able to relax around food and not stress out and worry or feel guilty or shameful about my choices. I do eat a lot of like vegan products still because yeah, I do, as I said, I do want to contribute to the good cause, but I don't believe you have to be 100%. So yeah, I guess like the label is vegetarian then, but yeah, anyway. So these are just few things I wanted to talk about. I don't know if there is anything else. Yes, but yeah, I will end this video here so it's not too long. Yeah, I'm celebrating my 4 years of full recovery. I can't believe. So already next year is gonna be a 5-year anniversary. Oh my god. Yeah, I just want to say to you as well that I recovered, you know, by helping myself a lot, and my recovery took about 1 year, and it doesn't mean my recovery was a straight line. Actually, in my recovery, when I started, I didn't even know exactly what I was doing, how to do it, will it ever work, but I just started, and I was like willing to commit and do whatever it takes. So I want you as well to be able to like fully commit to this process. If you have some setbacks, it's normal. Just get up and keep on going until you get there, because it's so worth it. Because right now, yeah, I had to struggle for a year to like get to full recovery, and it was definitely challenging. But now I can live for the rest of my life free from eating disorder. And I truly wish that for you as well. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and give this video a like, and also subscribe to my channel for more future videos. And yeah, so have a nice day. Bye.